was recently in Walmart, and this old man comes up to me, and he's like, "Young man, can you help me with something?" I almost freaked out. I was like, "I am a female. Can you not see that?" It hurt my feelings, but made me laugh at the same time. Maybe?
No.
Nah. Maybe it was on my earrings. It's so funny to me how people get such a misconception, such a wrong idea just based on what you look like. I think even as Christians, not just as a female, but there's so many misconceptions, so many things that people size you up in an instant. Like we were talking about that movie, Step Up 2. And I feel like even in that movie, there are so many things that people see and that people portray, the actors portray, and they're so wrong. Like, tell us about it. You went and saw it recently.
Yeah, I went and saw it, and for me, I love dancing. I love it. I love to watch it. And whenever I see the movie, the way that they are dancing, the way that they're dressed, everything about them, it's like to be successful or to, be in a place where just to do that kind of stuff for fun, I have to look like them. I have to move like them.
So why don't you? Why don't you look like them?
Well, for one thing, with take the clothing, for instance. They're halfway dressed, in the movie. And as I see that, being, still a young female, I automatically think that I have to be that way for anybody to be attracted to me. And so it's a constant battle in my mind to make sure that my body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, that God has called me to be a woman to just portray His glory, through an image. And my goal is to be a positive influence on people around me, that they see God through me and not see eye candy.
Exactly.
And sometimes, it's that eye candy that guys have, that perception of, like, they see it on TV. Like, for me as a, African-American female, I don't have big hips and big bottom and big top. And, on videos, that's what they're looking at. I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's true. And girls think that they're supposed to look like that.
And another thing is that whenever we see certain things, it's constantly around us and we feel that we have to be like that. But in another way, sometimes we don't even notice it, that it's around. And to us, it's nothing. But to men and to, the males, it's a big thing that holds them back. And just what they think that women should be to
They
them.
struggle with it. Men are visual.
Very.
And it's like you said earlier about the buffet.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the quote. But, we shouldn't publicize what's not for sale. Because guys, if they see you half-dressed, then they're going to assume quickly you're that kind of girl. And if you're not, then why are you telling people you are by the way you look? I think so often, especially young girls and young women, we feel like we have to measure up to society, to Hollywood.
What scares me is that a size 0 is really unrealistic. Like, there's nobody that I know that's a size 0 and it's tall and, the image that we think that we should look like. And that scares me to think that all these girls think that that's what I'm supposed to look like. And you can't. Like, it's okay not to be a size 0. It's okay to not look like those girls or those women in the magazines. And that scares me that image is portrayed out there so often.
And they take such drastic measures. That's why so often people have eating disorders, especially girls. It's highest in teenage girls.
Yeah, in Hollywood, they're not telling them that they're being watched closely by a trainer or a physician. They're on those diets, but they're watched like a hawk.
Airbrushed. There's a Dove commercial that shows actually the process that the models go through. That they have their makeup done and everything, and then the picture is taken, and then it is digitally remastered, and everything is elongated and bigger, and it's not real.
I mean, my senior portrait wasn't like that. I wish it was.
Something else that scares me is that's what triggers self-esteem issues and suicide and all of these problems that girls especially have. And for me, I dealt with a lot of self-esteem issues when I was growing up. And it's not easy when you're surrounded by beautiful people or other girls who are trying to compete with you all the time.
Yeah.
And that causes so much anxiety, and you're constantly thinking, what can I do to make myself better? And that's not healthy. That's not what you should do, because you are unique in God's eyes. You're one person throughout all these billions of people. No one else is like you. So why not be you?
Exactly. We were mentioning that earlier. We're so unique. We're 6 different girls, tons of people in this room, but we're all so uniquely different. Counting the director, there are 6 girls. 5 of us, and we're so different.
We are different.
But it's like you said, be uniquely you. God only made one of us, so why not live it up?
And if we're like someone else, we're only second rate. We can be who we are, but we can't be anyone else, and no one else can be us too. So that's always comforting to know.
Accepting myself, like, that's important to me, that I'm important to myself first. You know, what I look like is what I look like. That's how I want to look that day.
Yeah.
Accept me for what it is, and if you don't, then, oh well, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And there's a process, I think, that we have to go through to get to that. To just finding out who we are, and who we are, is what we are by ourselves when no one else is around, when no one else is looking. What do we enjoy? What do we listen to? What makes us us? And then we have to capitalize on that.
So what makes a godly female? You're saying there's a process. What's involved in that process? For each of us, I'm sure it's different. But what is that process about, and what makes up a godly female?
I know for me, it's the way I carry myself, my attitude from day to day. How people perceive me is not really important to me. In the morning, as long as I know that I'm right with God, that's what's most important to me. And I know I struggled with it as a teenager, and it was kind of like, okay, do I want to be like my friends, or do I want to do this? And it's like I knew the right way, but I never quite could make up my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, it's kind of like, okay, it's God's way, or nothing at all. And I really think about that.
I think, like you're saying, to be a godly woman, like we're constantly striving, we're constantly working on it, that it doesn't come easily, that we could just as easily go down the wrong path as you can the right. That it's a constant, it's a choice that we have to make whenever we wake up every single day. Like, who am I going to be? Am I going to be me, who God made me to be, or am I going to be what I think the world thinks I should be? And
when I was in high school, when I believe it was my junior year, so I was probably 17, 16. Anyway, I was involved in a relationship with this guy, and, we were going to get married. I had it all planned out. He wasn't aware of that, of course. But, I thought this was it. I was like, oh, this is love. This is real. And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever been involved in. But I made a conscious choice to stay in that relationship, but it ultimately completely transformed my personality. I became this person that I was not happy with, certainly not pleased with. And there were rumors about me at school just because I dated this guy. I was not that person, but they assumed I was because I was with this guy. I made a choice to stay with him. So I've got these rumors flying around a Christian school